Streaming is on.
Okay, well, just get our pause out of the way though, because since we are doing our pause irrespective of like the topic, right? So 5 seconds. All right, go for it.
All right, so I think that the way that we could build this makes very sense. I mean, backpay tokens and jurisdiction tokens. They are equity, but they're equity only if you turn them into equity. But
I couldn't quite hear you. Say it again.
yeah, for me, I mean, from what I understand, I mean, you have backpay jurisdiction token. All right, perfect, and you can. They are your equity, yes, but they're your equity as long as you turn them into equity. Because, for example, your backpay is there, and you can decide to either turn the backpay to upfront pay, so dollars, so you give the backpay for the US dollars, or at one point you say, okay, I'm going to turn my backpay into network equity. And the same thing can go the other way, right? I want to sell part of my equity and buy backpay tokens, right? And convert them to backpay. So like the network equity would become the way that we can easily determine immediately how is the equity is distributed within the organization. That's the network. The network equity that's distributed through this power token. It's the way that we understand how the equity is distributed within the organization, and you can convert your
equity power token is involved in the decision making of the budget. Is that what you're saying?
But it's involved. It's involved in everything. That's I mean, it's the equity you have in the organization. Point. And this is
backpay and the jurisdictional token, and that's the equity you have in the organization, not the network equity. The network equity is your power, not your equity.
All right, but is not the power related to your equity?
Well, think about it like this: like, if the network equity held all of if the network equity and the power token had all of the value across the organization, then if you put 3,000, for me, then Mamoon would get his 3,000, you get your 3,000. It's like everyone would be getting the same amount of money to live on if all of the value and all of the equity was the network equity token. So for, obviously for small jurisdictional areas, that would be great to get 10 times extra money than you need. But for high jurisdictional areas, you get totally screwed and you wouldn't be able to survive, right? You wouldn't be able to meet your basic life needs.
Right, but what I'm thinking is that backpay and jurisdiction token, you can.
All right, I think we're ready for what's it? 6 minutes is the
breath.
So exhaling and inhale together, and exhale.
Okay.
All right.
But what I'm saying is that you get jurisdiction token, you get backpay token, right? So let's make an example, right? I have 500 backpay tokens, I have 100 jurisdiction tokens, and I have power tokens.
More, like maybe you have 1,500 jurisdiction tokens.
Yeah, I mean, making numbers just to make an example. How I see this could work well. So, and then you have accumulated directly 1,000 power token. You know that there is a very important decision that's going to take place for the budget, right? So you immediately convert your backpay tokens to your power equity. Maybe this is going to be depending on the conversion. So you get 250 more power token, and you convert also all your jurisdiction token to your power tokens, another maybe 100. Okay, so you end up having in the end, for the decision, before the decision, you end up having 1000 plus 250 plus 100, right? So you converted all your backpage, your jurisdiction value, into the network equity to maximize the power you want to have in that decision. Then time goes on, and man, I need some extra money, whatever. So you take your network equity, you convert them into back pay. Obviously, the conversion rate has changed depending on all the relations that did happen. So this also you need to think about doing these conversions, right? I mean, how important is the decision? Is gonna do? Am I gonna be able to get my back pay back at the same number, maybe more, right? So, and then in the end, you convert 350 of your network token into back pay, which is maybe I don't know 100, and the value of the back pay went a little bit down, so you get actually 200 back pay, right? And you can also play with that. And now you can make a back pay proposal to transform your 200 back pay into upfront. But all these tokens would be all related. But in order for you to actually hold the power and the equity that the equity that originates the power, you need to have the power tokens. That's easily.
So it'd be a 5-second pause.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's very easy to know at any moment what's your current power inside the network. How many network equity do you have? We go into the wallet. We see, okay, perfect. Simplifying everything. So then it's up to you to transform your back pay and jurisdiction token into network equity if you want, or you sell them, or you do whatever you want. But the power token will be the highest one.
Sure. So, I mean, the thing that's obviously awkward, right, is that we don't necessarily want, like let's say back pay, right? Let's say because I live in a rich jurisdiction area that I have like tons of extra back pay, right? So I have like $3,000 back pay, whereas someone like Mamoon or a small jurisdiction area, they only have like $200 of back pay, right? But in relationship to the cost of living, it's the same. But if I wanted to, I could just like transfer my back pay into the power token and have tons more power for, first world jurisdiction, and then, use that to manipulate decision making, and then go back into the back pay again afterwards. So, I mean, obviously there's easy ways to make sure that there's no manipulation going on, but overall, the power token doesn't really represent, like we operate by consensus, right? So we're always trying to get consensus, and there's always checks and balances in our system. The power token really just represents your overall stake in the organizational framework based on your contribution,
Yeah, exactly. It's based on your contribution. I was making an example. We can also keep it simple for now, and just don't worry about this, and just start distributing the power token and network equity, and we can see all these more details later. Because I think it's already very powerful to just start to tracking it and distributing it, and people know that. I mean, then we see better how we can build value into it, how we want to relate it to the other tokens and everything.
Yeah. And it's like there's definitely a lot of crypto projects and other projects where the power token is a separate token where they do decision making with, so it is normal for people to have that, and typically it's not as valuable as like the primary equity token. Anyways, we're at the 12-minute mark, so do 30-second stretch.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's definitely a lot to still figure out here.
Yeah.
A lot of next steps and understanding it. Also it's important to understand the distribution models for the power and go through the old spreadsheets, right? And then we can note this like some next steps. Review old spreadsheets, understand, how the system works. And then from there, it's because based on like all the contribution, right? Based on
we can make an example now in our wrap up how we would do it.
No, we can. We don't necessarily need to do that. What we need to do is we need to use the examples that we already have for the actual network equity.
Yeah, exactly. I would copy and paste the table from the main session.
Well, no, I'm not talking about those. Those are not, value tracking is not network equity, right? Network equity is a spreadsheet that tracks equity over time in relationship to different sessions. Okay, so we can go over those spreadsheets as needed, but there's still a lot of token dynamics that need to be worked out in terms of like understanding the relationships and purpose and all of that.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, we would track this into the value tracking. Then, of course, the value tracking result would go into the spreadsheet, like the ledger for this
yeah, but we just want to make sure we're tracking it properly. We understand where it goes. How it worked before and how we would evolve it so that it works properly.
Yeah. No, I
mean, if we
understand
can try to prioritize it, like. I mean, we haven't even agreed that, and there's also the proposal, right? Proposal to even make this a thing,
Yeah.
Right, which is making the base. We're at 15 minutes, so that's a pause. Right?
Pause. Yeah, pause.
5-second pause. All right. But even making it a thing in relationship to the proposal and actually deciding to make the primary payroll, the first payroll, the base, power payroll, right? Or the base network payroll.
Yeah, that's why it's important that by Thursday we have this figured out.
I don't think we're gonna have it figured out by Thursday, but the question is like, when could we have it all figured out by to implement it properly, and maybe by next month we could get it started,
Yeah.
We don't need it.
Obviously, next round.
Yeah. Or even next quarter, because usually we did it all quarterly and half year, right?
Yeah, but for me it's urgent because this could be a big motivation for ourselves, but also for the rest of the team to.
Well, that's also just like understanding the purpose, right? So understanding the purpose is very, very helpful. In my perspective, the idea of using the power token as a reward token doesn't make sense, right? That the better option is that a reward token and a reward is based on work output and deliverables. For example, like a policy star token, right? Like if you're following the policies well, then you get rewarded for that, right? So what I was trying to mention before that we didn't get to and that we need to go over is understanding the reward, the token models before. So understanding previous bonus token models from before. So it was all about tracking value, and we don't have time to go through this right now, but I want to go through it with you, understanding all the different types of value. For example, policy would be a type of value, right? You also have finances, you've got recruitment, you've got all these different work area trajectories that could have various different bonuses based on output, deliverables, and time and contributions, So it's like contributing to various types of work. So for me, the power token, the problem with the power token being used as a reward is that it just doesn't really line up, right? The power token is not a reward. The power token is the power of the organizational network to ensure, to prevent corruption and make sure that we're a worker-owned, worker-led organization. Those who step up and contribute, or contributor-led, contributor-owned organization. Right? Those who contribute and get involved should control the direction of it, not people who don't. Right?
Yeah, no, I perfectly agree. But I mean, and I do want the reward token. I mean, that's the next one. But I mean,
but it's the purpose. Like if because you keep saying like, oh, you want this token so that people get incentivized to do the rewards. That's not the purpose of the power token. So using the power token for something that it's not intended for is concerning to me.
No, I mean, I understand. I want to do the rewards token as well. That's different, more specific. But I mean, I think that already with the power token, when you do the value tracking, you do participation points, you give scores based on the positions and these kind of things. I think this would be already helpful as a start. And I think the power token is very important. So let's focus in introducing them well, having it work, and then then the main thing that we're gonna do to actually motivate the workers to follow policies is the reward token. Yes, but I think that the power token is more important that we focus first on that, and it also serves. It's not its purpose, but in a way, it also serves other purposes. But obviously, it's not the solution. But I think that would already help for people to showing up. People putting the time. Yeah, we missed the breath.
So exhaling. And inhale. And exhale. And it's all because I forgot to set my timer. Got to set that timer. Also, we're like, I don't even know, 30, 35 minutes into this topic. So I think we should move on to the wrap up. So anyways,
I think we're yeah.
That's very nice. So I do think we need to focus on the reward. We need to focus on the purpose of what we are trying to accomplish. Right? Because I don't like this going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Like it's unprofessional. You see what I'm saying? Like if you want to focus on the power token, we focus on the power token for the purpose of the power token. If we want to focus on the reward token for rewards for making people do good work or do policy tracking, whatever you want them to do, that's fine. But going back and forth and having it all mixed up and not actually like creating clear trajectories, that clear outcomes, is just a recipe for disaster because it doesn't actually line up with all the systems and the processes that we're trying to create. So anyways, it's fun and interesting to talk about and all, but as far as getting work done, we have to choose one. We can do one thing at a time. It's hard to do all of it.
Yeah, and I'm totally to go with the power token. That's more important than everything. For the rest, I would start including this checklist. I mean, that's something we can include immediately, and we can talk with the workers about the issue on Thursday. But yeah, I mean, the power token is way more important than anything. I think we should have the power token. We should concentrate on the power token, get that working, happening, and we know that next step would be a reward token. Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, the only part that I think comes in clearly in relationship to what people's priorities are is that if the power tokens, everyone has clarity of having interest in power and clarity on their overall equity and everything. That's great. On the other hand, a relationship to wanting money and getting rewarded with value so that you can get a bonus, I think that is a very different thing, right? Because the power token for me is not about money, right? It's about power. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So it looks like we are at another pause, I think.
Pause. Yeah.
We'll pause. All right. So we're supposed to have a break in just a few minutes here. I think in like about a minute or a minute.
Yeah, we can wrap up quickly here.
I doubt we're going to be able to wrap up that quickly.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of stuff going on. So, I mean, I would prefer to just like, take a step back and just allow our flow to happen, because we're practicing, we're going through this. Like, if we take a 6-minute break, we come back, and we only do 5 more minutes, that's fine with me, But I doubt that's going to happen. And I'm not in a hurry, super duper hurry. I think it is good to try to end on time, but I think going over a little bit is perfectly fine. We usually go like 2-3 hours, and so this is the 2.25 hour mark, right?
Yeah, in 7 minutes. Yeah.
So
No, I'm perfectly fine to. I would go over and just, I mean, organize it. Keep doing. Keep working. Even if we go 30 minutes more, 1 hour more, it's so important. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, realistically, we didn't do the wrap up, right? We were supposed to start wrap up 23 minutes ago, and we didn't do it. So that would be policy tracking if we were serious about it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I would do policy tracking for
We're
having
not starting the wrap up based on when we said we were going to start it. So now we
exactly.
So if we're trying to actually follow the protocols and follow the processes, then we have no choice but to take a break and then start up again after the break to do the actual wrap up, because we didn't do the wrap up just now. We continued the discussion of the topic.
Yeah, and we would do policy tracking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think we are ready for our break. So it's going to be a 6-minute break this time.
6 minutes, yeah.
Or I guess we get 5.5. All right.
Yeah.
So bottom of the hour, we will get started on the actual wrap up for the session as opposed to just the topic. Right?
Okay.